This place felt more like home than where I was living in the States.
Meet Rob and Nadine, worn-down chiropractors who escaped the rat race and ran off to Costa Rica.
We said, if we're going to do this, let's just put it all out on the table. When we came here, the people are really friendly.
There was no going back at that point.
So the only way to make this work was going to be on a budget.
They found ways to live well on very little money.
This little baby is $6 a month in gas.
In their adopted beach town, they discovered what was really important to them.
It's not only just the activity and the exercise that we enjoy, but everywhere around us, it's just beautiful. Whoa.
And along with their change of lifestyle came new passions.
As my journey unfolded, that's when all this creative energy came, and so did the book.
And a true appreciation of life and each other.
We were tossed into a whole new life. It was like being children again. And we kind of just rediscovered ourselves and rediscovered each other.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's early in the morning here in Huacas, Costa Rica, and I'm on my way to meet Rob and Nadine, former chiropractors from the Northeast who moved down here 5 years ago to enjoy the good life. They figured out how to be happier than a billionaire while surviving on only $1,200 a month in paradise. So let's go meet them and learn more about how they manage this luxurious yet affordable lifestyle. Hello, Rob and
Hey,
Nadine.
bienvenidos! Welcome to
you.
Costa Rica!
Hi.
My name's Rob.
I'm Nadine.
And we live in Huacas, Costa Rica.
Come on in, have a seat.
Thanks.
Join us. Would you like a cup of coffee or anything?
I'm okay. This is beautiful.
Pura vida, huh?
Yeah, this is how you guys start your mornings out here?
Yeah, pretty much every morning.
I'm from Linden, New Jersey. My husband's from Bensonhurst, Brooklyn.
We went to the same school, New York Chiropractic College, and I always found my wife to be beautiful. And so I asked her out about 150 times.
And I said no, 150 times.
And then on the 151st time, she decided to say
I said yes.
yes. And we've been in love ever since.
How did you guys get down here? How did you end up in this beautiful jungle paradise?
We just were working really hard and working all the time.
We both opened up practice, 10-hour days, 11-hour days.
From the outside, we were living the American dream. We had 2 cars, a nice house, 2 successful businesses. This became very heavy on us.
And stressful.
You know,
And you think it was the lifestyle it was taking its toll?
yeah,
the
definitely.
work?
Our goals were more driven by economic success and, you know, wanting things. You're not enjoying your life, so then you say, well, I'll buy this 250-gallon saltwater aquarium. That's gonna make me happy. And you're like, well, that didn't really make me happy, so okay, let's make it a reef aquarium. Then you're miserable and you're even worse off.
I was reading this book about Buddhism, and he's upside down as I'm reading this, and Rob's upside down in the fish tank.
Scraping algae off a rock with
Now,
a toothbrush.
this is the only day we have off
Crying
on
out loud.
Sunday. It takes around 8 hours to do this. And I opened the book, I said, wow, you know, it says in here possessions cause suffering.
And you know
And
something?
he got out of
It
that
was-
fish tank.
It was like a light bulb went off in my head. I was like, oh my God, that's so true. The more junk I have, the more miserable I am.
So one day I came home with this crazy idea that we were going to quit our jobs and move to Costa Rica.
Yeah, I thought it was crazy.
She really came around to the idea when I got sick.
I worked 12 hours a day, she worked 12 hours a day. We barely seen each other. We couldn't eat well, we couldn't take care of ourselves. I was overweight, I was feeling sick. I went to the doctor, I ended up in the hospital for a week. No one can figure out what was wrong.
I remember sitting next to him at the hospital bed, and I just said, I promise you, we won't live like this anymore. Then you realize you actually have to change your life. And that's the part that we started thinking, yeah, okay, we need a little bit of a plan, we need a little faith in each other, and we'll figure it out as we go. And at that point, figuring it out was better than staying where I was.
And how did you choose Costa Rica?
We said, if we're gonna do this grand adventure, let's just put it all out on the table. And let's just put, you know, even all of Central America out on the table. What we liked about Costa Rica is when we came here, the people are really friendly. And I said, wow, I wanna live like this. It was our first trip here that I knew. This place felt more like home than where I was living in the States. Remember when we finally said, okay, we're gonna do this, and we had said either it's gonna go really good or it's going to go really
We'll
bad.
be home in 6 months.
And and to make sure it goes really good, we'll sell everything.
Yeah,
I
we weren't one of those people who kept 1 foot in the States and 1 foot here. It had to work. There was no going back at that point. The house was gone, the business was gone.
All in.
And now we live here. My fish tank is the ocean.
We got rid of all the possessions.
It had no place in our life.
Well, and it still looks like you guys lead a pretty nice life. You're living in a
Absolutely.
nice house.
Yeah,
and
would you like us to show you
Yeah,
around
I'd love
and
to
see
see
how
it.
we do this crazy thing?
plan of ours.
I remember what she told me. She was moving down to Costa Rica. I'm like, okay, do you have enough money that you have put away? And I hope that they had money. I don't get in their business, but I hope that they had some put away. And I assumed that it would last them.
So come on in.
So Savannah, this is our house.
It's lovely.
I don't think it's spacious enough.
We left at 37, so we didn't have enough money to last us forever.
So the only way to make this work was going to be on a budget.
It's $150 a month.
Get out.
What we did is we found this house and we made a deal with the owner. He needed someone to be a caretaker for the house, to do some gardening.
Take care if things break, if something happens to the plumbing. Somebody needs to be living in the house.
So this is the garden.
Well, the garden is a work in progress, but eventually this will all be thick with flowers. Life really just thrives here. When I first got here, I was in such terrible shape. If I walked across the beach, I was out of breath. I felt like I had to sit down.
My husband loves to work out, so instead of joining a gym, I call it the jailhouse workout, the no job, no kids workout.
People think, well, you just sit around all day. You don't have any goals in life. We still have goals.
This is the gym.
This is my gym. One of my biggest goals was to get myself healthy again. You start in this position, and you come on down, and there you have it.
Jeez Louise.
Now I would suggest a helmet with this.
Do you do this, Nadine?
I do the push-ups, but on a chair, lower on a chair.
You could start your own personal training business while you're down here too.
Hey, I try not to work as hard as I can. What are you trying to do to me here?
It's extremely rewarding for me to feel like I did again when I was 20 years old.
How much weight have you lost since you moved down here?
40 to 60 pounds. Honestly, I'd never dreamed that I would get in this shape again. I felt I would be overweight, unhealthy, arthritic for the rest of my life. It turns out it was just the lifestyle and the diet and the lack of exercise.
I really do feel as good as I did ever in my life.
And Nadine's moving down to Costa Rica. Little on the crazy side for her as far as she goes and as far as, what I know about her.
I've seen Rob's zone. I want to see Nadine's zone.
I definitely had my doubts at first. You don't speak Spanish. How the hell are you going to get around?
Well, come on inside.
But I knew she'd be okay. If she got down there and ultimately decided that's what she wants to do, or at least give it a go, I figured she'd be fine.
So this is where I write. What was great about living here is the more I was able to decompress, the more creative I became. And all these funny adventures that I was having, I said, it would be great to document that and write them down in a funny, silly way. I always love to write. And if you just have a really good sense of humor, things are just hilarious, especially when you don't know the language. So I just started writing the funny stories down, and I would share them on my blog, or I would email them out, and people started sharing them in inter-office email. And it just grew, and it just became bigger than I thought it could ever be. So as my journey unfolded, so did the book. And it's been doing great.
What's the book called?
Happier Than a Billionaire.
Quitting my job, moving to Costa Rica, and living the 0-hour work week.
Yes. We used to go back and forth. They're like, are you happy? We're happier than a millionaire. I'm like, no, we're happier than a billionaire.
And people love this.
And people love it. It's the #1 book for Costa Rica and Central America.
And you had no idea when you moved down here, I'm going to write a book, I'm going to talk about my experience. That was all something that just came in the process.
It just unfolded.
This place really has a way of unlocking your creativity. Whether you're a photographer, musician, a writer, it really has a way of bringing it out and enhancing it and bringing it to the surface.
And until I unloaded it all, that's when all this creative energy came. And it came fast. And I'm lucky that I found a passion that I like to do every day.
You have a best-selling book.
Yeah, crazy.
That's amazing.
When we landed in Costa Rica, there was a lot of things we needed to do. We didn't know the language. We had to find a place to live. We had to get a Costa Rican driver's license. So there were a lot of things on our list that at the beginning felt like obstacles. You know, there was a lot to figure out when we moved here, and the car was the #1 thing.
Gas can be as much as $6 a gallon. So we needed to come up with a plan that would help offset the cost of gas.
Do you want to hit the road and see how we do it?
Yes.
Scooter
I'm
trip.
totally inspired now.
Scooter trip, scooter trip.
All right. Our big SUV, that's around $80 in gas. This little baby is $6 a month in gas. So we take this, we stick this on, we say a prayer, and we go food shopping.
Even the grocery store is an adventure.
You really need to learn from the local people how they do it. People will deliver roofing material on a motorcycle. So I figured if they can do that, I can get my groceries home on a motorcycle. All right.
Okay, let's start maybe staples like milk.
Okay, wherever you want to go. So the only way to make this work was going to be on a budget. We decided to focus on what we felt was important, which
That was $1,200 every month, and we had to stick to that.
Okay, so not bad. A bag of pasta is $1. That had to go towards rent, food,
Healthcare.
and we knew that we would have to make do with in certain ways.
because we weren't doing this at 70.
Here's peanut butter. Okay, here's a great one. This is $7.50.
All the imported goods are double the price, so we have to be really careful because it is tempting to go down an aisle and want to pick the things that you're used to eating.
As alluring as the cute little bunny is, he's not worth $7 today.
This is the produce section. Okay, cabbage,
¿Cuánto per kilo? Okay.
$1 a kilo.
¿Cuánto per
Okay.
kilo?
Potatoes are good.
¿Cuánto por las papas?
We have to try to find products that are made here. Mostly eat things that are fruits and vegetables. Why don't we get this as dessert for this week? And this is great because this is what we'll snack on. We won't snack on cookies or chips because they're too expensive here. So we'll just buy the local fruit and that'll be our dessert.
And the money you save here, like if you save enough, then you get to spend it on activities, recreational
Kayaking, jet skiing.
stuff. So let's save. I want to go do some
That's
fun
right.
stuff.
Exactly.
Let's do it.
I like your style. You're thinking like me, Savannah. There's so much that's great about living
It's an
in
active
Costa Rica.
country. It's just beautiful.
Sounds like it in Costa Rica!
When people found out we were going, most of them thought we could never start over. They would think it's normal to be unhappy.
And that wasn't good enough for me.
Well, cheers to that.